going?
Good, feeling real good.
Awesome. So wanted to talk to you. Tell me a little bit, now that you guys are finished filming down in the Everglades, the Swamp People Serpent Invasion, how do you think it went for you?
I think it went good down there. We caught a ton of snakes. I mean, we saw all kinds of critters down there. It wasn't just snakes that we saw, even though it is about, the show is about the invasion of the snakes and the overpopulation of them and removing them out of the Everglades. I mean, we still saw a ton of other things. I mean, we saw chameleons, a lot of iguanas, gators, more gators than you can imagine. Let's see, what else? We saw bear, did see one panther down there, owls. I mean, any kind of critter you can imagine in a hot, muggy area, especially kind of like the Amazon. I mean, they live there. There's so many invasive species there, so it was a really good turnout down there.
That's awesome, man. So if you had the opportunity to do it again, if they called you back for the second season, would you want to go down there and do it?
Absolutely. I mean, shoot, anything to save, the native state that I live in, the native animals, and that's what it's about. They weren't originally, they're not from here, they're from East Asia. So once they got out of control down here, I mean, they just started, decimating our natural, animals that naturally live here.
And so, do I understand it right? People just take their random pets that they don't want anymore and they just let them loose in the Everglades and then they just continue to multiply?
That's probably the smallest portion of how that happens. People do say that, but some of them do. Some of them just escape, and they're going to run to the hills. They're not going to stay in the city. Those animals, I mean, they're going to go as far as they can away from people. But yeah, some are let go, some escape, and then the majority of it came from, there was 2 breeding facilities down there when Hurricane Andrew came through in '92 that got destroyed during the hurricane, which released like thousands of exotics into the wild. So that's where the meat of them come from. It was not from just releasing them, a couple people. That's not how that works. But yes, people do release their animals that they buy from pet stores. They get too big and they let them go, or they escape. So that's kind of how they multiply.
I see. Okay, another thing, we'll finish up with this. Is it true, or maybe I think I heard it through a grapevine somewhere, I don't know, it could be a folk tale or something, I don't know, but did you catch a gator when you was 13 years old?
Yeah, actually quite a few times I think I did, but I do remember around that age, particular one that I caught. I did catch it only because, I've got a soft spot for animals, and I don't like to see any animals get unnecessarily, killed or anything like that. So I had heard of one being kind of like on a I guess you would call it like a public roadway under a little bridge, and there were some kids talking about, oh, we're going to go, catch it and kill it and all this kind of thing, and I didn't want to see anything happen to that little gator, and he was only about 3 foot, so I took it upon myself to get in there and get it before they did that, and I did move it, but I did bring it home for a little while, but just to get it to a safer place, so this way when they did come back to fool with it, it would not be there any longer. So I've always been able to remove some animals out of a bad situation I thought might have been not good for them if somebody was going to kind of do something to them that they shouldn't have.
And this was at 13 years old?
Yeah, and I could have been younger than that. Right, wow. 12, 13, yeah.
So you actually started trapping or removing gators or catching snakes, anything with the wildlife to help protect it. You started that at a young age then?
Mm-hmm. Always, yeah, always since as a kid. I was probably catching snakes at 5 years old, frogs, always walking the ditches, crawfish in the ditch, whatever it may be. I mean, any kind of critter, lizards, it didn't matter, frogs, snakes, gators, whatever it may be, turtles, anything I would come across, I would always catch them, look at them, inspect them a little bit, and I would let them go. But I grew up all of my life, always having my hands on some kind of wildlife.
Awesome. Okay. Where did your parents know about all this? What did they say when they found out you caught a gator? Did they ever know? Did they ever ask, like, where have you been?
No, I think. Well, my mom definitely doesn't care for any kind of creepy, crawly, slimy anything's reptiles. She's not into them. Dad didn't mind so much, and I think I hid that gator for the 2 days that I had it before I released it. But I don't think I told anyone about that. I don't think they would have been real happy about that. They didn't like some of the little critters I had inside the house in tanks. As a kid, you always want some kind of a salamander or an iguana, which I've had many iguanas. But yeah, it kind of freaked them out.
That's awesome. Okay, man. Well, we were going to end it right here, but we want to say thank you for giving us this interview, and
Yeah.
good luck to you.
Yeah, anytime. I appreciate it.